Oh, every time right before I go live, I get this like jolt of joy. So, welcome back. It is Enchantress Shane here. Sometimes my Brooklyn accent is deeper than others. And it's 40 days and 40 nights of enchanted living. We are talking and looking. Robert, what's up? Breakthroughs to have more freedom, more permission, more sensual self-expression, and more authenticity. Welcome people on Instagram and welcome people on Facebook. And I'm really always very proud to bring you the information that I'm bringing you. And so I want to take a moment of gratitude. Gratitude is sexy. And so anytime you're grateful for something that I'm saying, or anytime that you have a moment of like pure reflection, I'd love to be appreciated and share with me what you're getting from this. What's up, Anna? I just did an amazing spotlight share, and I'm so proud of the women that have been working with me in my practice, because their benefits are what I'm proud of. I'm excited about those moments. So I just did that with Anna and it feels really good. So I'm in this space of like, yay. All right, little kiss for you. So today we are talking about the unknown. In other words, shadow work. And I'm really proud to bring this to you because it is a mixture. You know, in my past, I've been a behaviorist. And so I look at people's behavior and I assess it, and I help to take actions to do new things. And I have a Fuck Your Fears program. That's what Anna had done, and just hearing the impact of it. What's up, Goddess Marissa and Sandy? Welcome. Hey, Javu on Instagram. Nice to see you. So where's everybody listening from? That would be really interesting and exciting to know how global our event is here. And so talking about the unknown, talking about shadow work, if you've never heard of these things, it's super okay. I'm going to break it down so that it's really easy and practical, because that's what I love to do. I love practical magic. And so enchanted living is about having more freedom, more self-expression, whether it's sensual or not, but also to be authentic. And a lot of times we don't even know when we're authentic. We're just like, I don't know, that's how I do things. I just, when it's raining, I just complain about it. But actually, if we live in the Middle East, like, I think we'd be really excited about the rain. Or if we lived in California, we'd be really excited about the rain. And so when it rains in New York, people are like, it's raining. And that's a belief. Right? So how many of these beliefs do we have that just run us, you know, like, and that is what keeps us limited. It's what keeps us stuck. And the unknown is about fearing change and also fearing being stuck, but not being able to see it. Not being able to see where we can move forward. What's up, David? Angel, welcome. Yay, Narissa, the goddesses are filling in the room here. Nice to see you. So where is everybody from? Okay, New Jersey, Atlanta. Where else? Where is everybody watching from? So yesterday, I had a beautiful sort of download and discovery that came up in the moment. And thank you for your compliments on that. Beautiful. Yeah, I committed to the red lipstick today and I don't have lights on, so I'm a little self-conscious. Long Island, beautiful, local, Oklahoma, Angel, how cool. We are all over the country. Ulysses, where do you hail from? I would love to know. So humans have always been afraid of change, always have been afraid of the unknown, always. Long Island, yay, home. Well, yay, Sandra, super goddess, rock away, up in the house. So we're talking about the unknown, and the idea is that it's scary, but life is scary anyway, right? We never know when someone's mortality is in question. We never know when, airplanes are going to hit buildings. London, yay. What's up, Sandra? I receive your love. So yesterday we talked about sensual self-expression and how men and women relate. And what did we specifically talk about was, I don't remember right this moment. I thought I had it written down in the right place. But anyway, so the unknown is like being afraid of it. Someone's going to die. My partner's going to leave me. I'm going to be too crazy. That's what we talked about. And the open-endedness and the potential for change is terrifying. So I was thinking about it and I did some research. Cuba. You're originally from Cuba. That's beautiful. And actually, I have a family from Cuba. So, when you think about Christopher Columbus, right, sailing from Italy, or I don't know if that's where he was sailing from, but the scariness of he might not find where he's going. He might not know. Or, anyone who has created any of our big inventions, right? Like electricity, like bread, whoever discovered AA and NA and all the anonymous things, it's like trying something to see if it's going to work is scary. Going into a relationship, opening your heart, being intimate with someone, sharing a truth, not knowing how it's going to turn out. Like that is terrifying. And a lot of people think they're avoiding it by, I'm touching the screen, by resisting. But the truth is, and I can say this time and time again in my own life, and this is what I help people with, is the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. The first time you say I love you to someone, like breaking the rules about who's supposed to say that first, it feels terrifying, right? Anybody agree with me? Give me a yes. What's up, Salvatore? Rockaway in the house. Yes. Wow, Anna. Yes, Anna's from Jamaica, which is super cool. Hey, Teddy. Good. So we have so many different states and countries represented. I'd love when it's a global event. It makes me feel super cool. So it makes me realize on a soul level how we're all the same, right? We all want love. Anybody, if you want love, if you desire love, give me a yes in the comments. And not just because I want you to engage, but because I want your yes to be witnessed by the universe, by creator, by the divine presence that makes everything we share and say important and powerful, right? That's why everybody votes, right? You want to hear your voice. You want to see your impression. And if you don't vote, it's also a way of being seen. And so if something feels scary, that the way to do it is to do it anyway. And that is not easily done alone. Can anybody relate with me? Throw up a yes. Thank you, Sandra. I see you in that love. And so the shadow, right? Our shadow work, like I'm a transformational coach. I help people get from one place to another, transformation, alchemy. And so that's really important to me. Even when people come to my house to hang out as friends, there's some breakthrough that I'm hoping or willing or offering to give insight on, right? Not, arbitrarily, but in a way that's like, is it okay? Welcome, Moshe. Where are you writing from, Moshe? So, Earth Goddess, nice to see you. So, knowing your darker self, what does that even mean? And, in the psychological aspect of it, it's like the parts of us we don't see. And if you don't see it, if you're repeating patterns over and over, oh, I see the birds are coming. I left bread out for them. Distracted. If you don't see it, then you can't work with it. So I have a couple of clients who keep getting in shitty relationships. And by shitty, it's just not serving them. It's making them freak out. It's making them insecure, self-conscious. these men are not showing up for them. They're not calling them back on time. Thank you so much, Earth Goddess. I'd love to be in touch with you, actually. Yay. Hey, Betty. So my role is to point out the things that a person doesn't see so that they can, get some insight into it and hopefully take better and different choices. So if you operate on what you don't see, right? If you're like eating sugar, right? Food is not where I support people, but if you're eating sugar and it's making you feel bad and it's making you feel bad, but there's an impulse to continue eating it, then you're operating, then it's operating on its own. So when you, okay, great, Sandra, thank you for sharing that. When someone is dating, and a lot of my women clients are just dating the wrong shit people over and over, it's not that person's fault. It's the way that we show up. It's the way that they show up as 50% of that relationship that creates space for that person to be shitty. And underneath that, there's a fear of being alone. Oh, that's what we talked about yesterday. Yes. There's the fear of being forced to settle, the fear of being judged or not being accepted or not actually finding anybody else. And that's our self-esteem stuff that has been around since we've been in high school. I have it too. Thank you. Yay, Betty and Sandra. I'm so glad you're here. Both of you goddesses, mermaid goddesses. So when we are aware of our shadow, then we can make better choices and also be aware not to be impulsive, because those repeating patterns are so strong in some of us that there's no way to avoid it. You just, you're operating under that, this is a new time. You know, I have that with money a little bit. Like, I can be impulsive with what I want. So I now have learned with working with Galit, my money coach, okay, don't do it right away. Wait 24 hours, let's say. So I wait 24 hours, but my mind is still in that shadow of like, I need what I want. I have to have what I want. I deserve what I want. And then I'll spend the money and maybe it wasn't the best choice. Yay, goddess. But I'm still operating in that shadow, in that place where I have blindfolds on and I can't see my patterns. That's the shadow, and it operates and it runs us. And some of us have shadows from when we're, let's say, 16 years old. I do. And then that 16-year-old isn't getting enough love and attention. So she starts to run the show. She starts to date as me. She starts to run my business. She starts to get nasty with people. And it's in a very self-serving way. It's not for the highest good. So if I'm operating in that way and I'm operating from my shadow place, what happens so geniusly, and let me know if you have any questions because I get excited and talk fast about this, is our shadow operates on its own. It does its own thing, but it also, this is kind of annoying, and I hope that everybody understands what I'm saying. It also, we project our stuff on other people. So I have clients that are like, I'll give you some straight up examples. I have a couple of women clients who are dating and they're just like trying to figure out why I keep getting shitty boyfriends, why they're so shitty, they're so fucked up, blah, 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 blah. And exactly what they say to themselves. Oh, I just thought of another example. I'm going to write it because my brain will let things go. What they say about them is they don't open up, they don't share their feelings, they're not generous. And I'm like, are you sharing your feelings? Are you opening up? Are you being generous? Well, no, because he's not. And when somebody's like doing that blaming game, it's so young. Yes, what's up, Grace? Thank you for the cosign on that. It's a very young activity. It's a young thought process, which is like, it's your fault, you're wrong. And when people are in a romantic relationship or a partnership, and it's all about like what you blame on the other person, that blame is usually a mirror. And so my law of attraction people are like, yeah, getting all excited over here because it's true. Yeah, the shadows with finances, it's like a really big thing. And I have been told some really good feedback that I got was that I have the ability to really help people through their darkness while still being kind. True. Like whenever I lead a workshop or I have a client that's like, I could tell really afraid to go into the darkness, I just take them with me. I'm like, that's okay. Let's just go. It's because I genuinely care. And I also have a lot of fears. You know, I don't teach the Fuck Your Fears program because I'm like, have no fears. I have so many fears and so many triggers. And I'm so sensitive that I can really relate to the sensitive people. And to me, that's why I'm great. So I'd love to know what's great about you. Right? So we're talking about shadows, but I also want to know what's great about you. Yes, Annie Grace, you give what you get. Vulnerability is our best strength. Absolutely. And I have shadow. I have so much shadow. Let me be aware with my words. So my shadows, I know them. But this past weekend, I said to one of my best girlfriends, I'm like, if there's something you see that I don't see, I am willing, only right now, it felt like, to listen. And she told me. And I was like, oh, that's fascinating. And the advice she gave me was to donate money. Thank you, Mr. Williams, for the compliment. So let me know if what I'm putting out here makes sense to you. And so the idea that I was willing to look into the darkness, and at the moment I had some scarcity that was taking over me. So she suggested that I tithe, like I give tithings. So I went on to the Hadassah website, which is a place where my grandparents are buried in the cemetery. It's for Jewish, I don't really know the core of it, but I donated money. And that was like, okay, I feel really good. Because when I have scarcity in my bones, like, you know, it's October and our ancestors are very present with us. It's the time that is the thinnest of the veil. And they suffered a lot, you know, they were Holocaust survivors. And so, or let me correct that languaging. They were Holocaust victims, right? Most of my family was killed in the Holocaust. So for me, I have that scarcity in me, which is like, don't spend anything. Don't do anything. Don't give out things. You never know when you're going to lose them for real. So I went online, I made a nice donation, and I just felt good. I was like, I can do that freely. And it just really helped me. So if you don't have a mentor and a coach, I suggest that you go to a really beautiful friend that can tell you, and you can ask them, when you're ready, when you're open, is there anything you see about my life that you think I don't see and it's keeping me stuck? That's really beautiful. Hey, Hogan's Hero. I like that name. Hey, Sheila. So when we are suffering with something, a really quick way to get into the shadow is to journal. I love journaling. It's a big part of how I help people. And, you know, I might give them a special journal prompt, but to go back into the journal and say to yourself, or write down, or even on a piece of paper, you know, just to write down, what is it that I don't see right now? And then just free write, just write. Just don't question punctuation. Don't question anything. Just write. Okay, so Annie Grace says, Cancer friends, that of the astrological sign. Will what's be that positive soundboard friend? Yeah, find your positive friend. And I think, you know, we all have these emotional sides of us. And if you're here, whether you're a man or a woman, it's really important to make sure you have sounding boards. But here's the thing, if you're just talking to a friend and you don't really know if they're the right person, they might have their own agenda. They might have their own projections. They might be giving out free advice. And if you know me at all, you know that I'm really big on not giving out unsolicited advice. There's no like, you should do this. Actually, I think the word should is a piece of shit. No shoulding on anybody. So So that's it. So whatever you're complaining about or whatever is in your shadow, and it could be like you saying like, oh, that fucking lady, she eats so much shit. She's so unhealthy. Look at yourself. If you're saying about other people things and you're blaming and you're finding fault and you're trying to fix the world, that's the ego's most powerful way to ignore what's actually happening. So what I want to invite you into, it's been a very busy morning so far. Since like 10 o'clock, I'm on the go, go, go. So I'm going to sign off in a couple of moments. Oh, there's little Coopy. Hello, Coopers. Oh, okay. So we have somebody sharing something. I want to share it. So I struggle with my big brother's toxic masculinity. How do I deal with addressing his sneak dissing and disrespecting me over time and time again? I feel it comes from our past and we have different moms and he's on a grudge. What a good question. Thank you for the love, Rachel. This is a great question, holding grudges. Now, this is not an easy answer, and I say it with love. His behavior has nothing to do with you. And I know it might feel like it does. It's his upsetness, it's his struggle, it's his stuff. So I would advise, and this is because you asked me for advice, I'm going to give it to you. Actually, I want to ask you a question first. How much time and what do you do to take care of yourself? Like you only with yourself, self-loving. And it does hurt. And family, they sure know how to like get into the fucking nitty gritty bruise and beat it up. They don't even realize what they're doing. They love you in their own freaky deek way. So of course, at some point it's about, yes. Oh, tell me what you needed to hear again and again and again. Hey, Peter, because sometimes I just speak. Oh yeah, no shitty should. Don't shit on anybody. Don't shit on anybody. And don't get shit on. So, you know, not spending time with people, exactly, we said it at the same time. So not spending time with the person and from your deepest compassionate place, think about what works about them. You know, think about what works about them. Gratitude is sexy. Yesterday on our day 3 of the Get Your Sexy Back challenge, it was about gratitude is sexy. Sorry, I can't always help but like I'm in a mirror here. So yes, his behavior has nothing to do with you. Nothing. It is his shadow operating. It is his anger. It is his lack of compassion or lack of awareness. He's a beautiful being and he doesn't have love. We all need love. If we're acting out in certain ways, it's a scream for love. So instead of loving him, which might be difficult and not feel good, give it to yourself. So here's a really quick tip. When he acts like shit or makes you feel really bad, you can't help him. These are people you cannot help in a regular way. You can help him by loving yourself, by treating yourself well, by going to take a power walk. When he does something or says something that's really fucked up, take yourself on a power walk. Yes, you're welcome. Treat yourself nice. The more, and for all my healthy masculine thinkers, for every one time they treat you like shit or they go into some shadow, give yourself 3 things that work about you. Okay? So you have to overwhelm the overwhelm. Let's say I'll make this you, and this is your brother. Like you have to overwhelm his overwhelm by overwhelming it with love for yourself. And through the vibration, through you honoring yourself and you making yourself a priority and important, that will show him. If you keep reacting the same way over and over again, he's going to keep reacting the same way. And that shadow is in pattern. You have to stop that pattern, take yourself away, take care of yourself. Take a bath, take a power walk, do some jumping jacks, sip tea. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You just overwhelm the overwhelm. And it hurts every time. And I'm, not far from this boat, but just like the acceptance of that's who he is. And it's really sad. So if you can love yourself, it helps him. Eventually, he might see it. All right, Sandra says something wise here. She says, oh yeah, family will shadow you with love. Oh, I love how you said that. And affection, and shit on you at the same time. Follow your own love shadow. So doing the things that make you feel so loved for yourself that when you are in that interaction, and everybody's relating to this, so thank you for showing it and sharing. When he shows up with shit love, you can see him as the little boy that he is. The little sadness. Yay, Neith is here. You can see how he's actually the little boy that's like, love me, see me, I feel alone. And you can't fix him. So there's a bit of responsibility that's not yours. Yes. Follow your own love shadow. Sandra, you said that so well. Welcome everyone else. Yes, overwhelming the overwhelmed. Thank you. So gratitude is sexy. So I'd love to know, what are you getting from today? What did you get? Some of you shared on Instagram, but where is your gratitude about what this is helping you with? And the reason I'm asking is it helps us digest when we share out loud and we see. And this is why when I work in group programs, how everybody gets to see each other, it just makes our beauty and it makes our love grow and grow and grow. And that's what it comes down to. Even our president of the United States, he's screaming to be seen and loved, right? And you know, it's like when people get that confusing love, they give more of whatever they think is love. They get more, they give more. And sometimes it's on a black, dark shadow trajectory. So if we can return to love ourselves, then when somebody acts out or acts a fool, we're like, oh, look, they're struggling. They don't know how to be, they don't know how to behave. All right. So I am still building the men's and women's intimacy group. Today at 4:30, if you come on over to the Relational Embodied Intimacy group, you'll see a great interview. So Neith shares, I am in the cycle of releasing my savior shadow, giving thanks for this chat. Yes, the savior. What that means to me is like Prince Charming is going to come. Gila, yay, family showing up. Oh, I didn't write back to you last night, but something funny. So the idea that, so I'm located in New York, and a lot of most of the programs I run are online. So I'd love for anyone, if you're interested in working with me, to let me know. Right now there is a men's and women's group that I'm initiating that came to me yesterday on the live, just naturally, because I mostly work with women, but if we don't start integrating men and women together, we're going to stay fucked. We're going to stay separate. And I have done so much work on intimacy and embodiment with men that we got to be hanging out together. And because so many beautiful men show up on this, it's like, I know, Rachel, isn't it so obvious? Like so many beautiful men show up on Instagram, on Facebook, and I kind of don't grow anything with it. Let's practice intimacy communications with each other. That's what's helped me the most, is when I go to these workshops and practice living and commuting and communicating and then using it in my life. It's like once we build that muscle, we can take it anywhere. And, you know, it's hard sometimes to get people, hello, Rosalind, to get people in one room together physically, but we can do it online. And I've had so many online programs with goddesses, and it's like, we really feel each other. And so that's what we're going to be doing.